What if I told you there's an ancient way of thinking that could make your life calmer, stronger, and more focused, no matter what the world throws at you? Have you ever wished for a guide that helps you remain unshaken while others spiral into stress and chaos? And what if the secret to outsmarting the modern world was written thousands of years ago? Welcome to a journey into Stoic philosophy, wisdom passed down by emperors, warriors, and thinkers, offering powerful lessons to help you navigate modern challenges with clarity and composure. In this video, we'll explore 9 Stoic keys that will help you outsmart the noise, strengthen your mind, and move through life with resilience. Stick with us, because each principle is a stepping stone to lasting peace and inner mastery. Let's begin with the first lesson. Don't talk about challenges. This principle might feel counterintuitive in today's world, where sharing every difficulty is seen as therapeutic. Isn't it good to vent when things get tough, you may ask? And yes, expressing emotions in healthy doses can be beneficial. But the Stoics offer us a perspective that goes deeper, one grounded in cultivating inner strength and focusing only on what we can truly control. Life as the Stoics saw it is full of difficulties, from petty frustrations to life-altering setbacks. These aren't exceptions, they're a core part of existence. But they believed that the true measure of a person is not found in the hardships they face, but in how they respond to them. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, once wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." These powerful words invite us to shift our mindset. Challenges aren't obstacles to avoid. They're the very path to progress and growth. In practical terms, this means resisting the impulse to complain. It means not constantly talking about our problems, but rather developing the courage to act. Consider this: ranting about how hard a work project is won't make it any easier. In fact, it often deepens the frustration. But if you break it into smaller, manageable parts and consistently move forward, you begin to chip away at the task and build your confidence in the process. This approach fosters what the Stoics called strength in silence. It's not about bottling up your feelings, it's about redirecting your energy. It's about cultivating a quiet, grounded resilience that doesn't need to shout to be powerful. Perspective is also central to this mindset. When we're consumed by a problem, it often feels enormous, but when we step back and observe it with calm detachment, it begins to shrink. Imagine you're stuck in heavy traffic, already late for an appointment. You could curse the delay and stew in frustration. Or you could turn on an inspiring podcast, focus on your breath, and see it as an unexpected moment of peace in your day. The Stoics teach us that we always have a choice between reaction and reason, between panic and perspective. So here's your challenge. The next time life throws you a curveball, don't vent. Don't complain. Instead, pause, breathe, ask yourself, what part of this can I control? Then take a step, no matter how small, toward resolution. Let your actions become your voice. Let your strength be revealed in calm persistence, not in words. Because true resilience isn't about appearing tough. It's about showing up again and again, even when it's hard. By practicing this single principle, you'll begin to face obstacles with greater courage. And slowly you'll find that fewer things have the power to disturb your peace. Now, with this foundation of quiet strength in place, we're ready for the next key to Stoic living, and it's just as transformative. Let's continue with lesson 2. Don't reveal your secrets. Welcome back, fellow Stoic seekers. Now that we've begun mastering the power of quiet strength, it's time to explore another equally vital key: the Stoic art of discretion. What if the key to protecting your peace lies not in saying more, but in sharing less? Could it be that withholding your deepest thoughts, dreams, and vulnerabilities is a form of strength, not secrecy? In today's oversharing world, the wisdom of the ancients whispers something different. Today we'll explore why the ability to keep your secrets might just be your greatest power. Now, don't mistake this lesson for a call to become a cold, distant recluse. The Stoics weren't advocating for emotional isolation. Instead, they understood that true wisdom lies in knowing what to reveal and to whom. The Stoic stance on secrets is simple, yet profound. Your inner world is sacred. Your thoughts, your dreams, your wounds, they are like precious jewels, deserving protection, not exposure to anyone passing by. As Seneca, the Stoic statesman, once said, "If you want to keep a secret, keep it to yourself." This wasn't born from fear, but from insight. Not everyone around us carries good intentions. Sometimes the sharpest betrayals don't come from strangers, but from those closest to us. To be Stoic is to understand this hard truth, and to guard your inner sanctuary accordingly. Think of your secrets like a flickering flame in a quiet room. They bring light, warmth, and meaning, but only when sheltered from the wind. If you expose them too early or to the wrong person, they can be extinguished or worse, used against you. But discretion isn't just about protection, it's also a powerful form of self-mastery. In a world addicted to instant gratification, being able to hold back, especially when you're excited, frustrated, or hurt, is a rare and admirable strength. Imagine this. You're working on a creative project that thrills you. You want to share it with everyone, but sharing too soon might invite criticism that crushes your momentum or doubts that plant seeds of hesitation. Instead, by holding your vision close until it's fully formed, you preserve your energy and maintain control over your path. This is the Stoics' approach to life. They don't spill their plans or emotions to just anyone. They move quietly, purposefully, revealing only what is necessary when it is time. So here's your next Stoic challenge. Practice the art of discretion. Be mindful of what you share and with whom. Choose your confidants with care. Protect the space inside you where your truest self lives. This is not about secrecy, it's about sacred boundaries. By doing so, you not only safeguard yourself from harm, but also develop something far more precious, a deep trust in yourself. And in that trust, you'll discover a steady, unshakable peace. And now, having explored the quiet power of discretion, we turn to a related principle, one that challenges the way we define success. Let's move into lesson 3. Don't talk about your achievements. You're probably thinking, but shouldn't I be proud of what I've done? Shouldn't I celebrate the victories I've worked so hard for? Yes, pride is important. Recognition feels good. But the Stoics invite us to shift the spotlight inward. They believe that true success comes from within, not from applause. It's not about who notices, it's about who you become in the process. As Epictetus so wisely said, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. In other words, don't talk about how great you are. Let your life be the proof. Imagine a gardener. She doesn't boast about her crops every day. She tends to them with care, day after day, and when the season is right, her garden blooms. The beauty speaks for itself. That's Stoic humility. It's not about false modesty. It's about letting your actions, your consistency, your integrity, your contributions tell the story. And here's where it gets tricky. We live in a world driven by likes, views, and follower counts. It's easy to fall into the trap of defining our value by the attention we receive. But that attention is fleeting. The Stoics knew this long before social media ever existed. They understood that external validation is unreliable. What truly endures is character. What builds you up in silence makes you stronger than praise ever will. So next time you feel the urge to announce your latest win, pause. Ask yourself, am I doing this for connection or for validation? Is my worth tied to this achievement, or do I carry it within me? The Stoic challenge here is to celebrate inwardly, quietly acknowledge your progress, and then keep moving forward. Keep growing, because the most powerful achievements are the ones that transform you, not the ones that simply impress others. By mastering this lesson, you'll cultivate not only humility, but also clarity, a sense of direction rooted in self-respect rather than public opinion. Now that we've embraced the power of humility, it's time to explore how Stoicism helps us deal with difficult people without losing our peace. Let's continue with Lesson 4. Don't let others disturb your peace. So here's your challenge. The next time you accomplish something truly meaningful, resist the urge to shout it from the rooftops. Don't rush to social media, don't chase likes, and don't fish for validation. Instead, pause, take a breath. Recognize the effort you've poured in, the discipline you maintained, and the growth that came from within. Appreciate your achievement in silence. Let the victory settle into your bones. Then get ready to take on the next challenge. Let your actions be your proclamation. Let your life speak louder than your words ever could. Because real success, it's not measured by applause or titles. It's measured by who you become and how consistently you live with purpose, integrity, and quiet determination. And now we move into a subtle yet powerful Stoic weapon, strategic silence. Lesson 4. The power of strategic silence, keeping your next move a mystery. Welcome back, future Stoics. Today we're talking about the kind of wisdom that separates noisemakers from masters of the game, strategy, patience, and the ability to keep your next move a mystery. It's like playing chess. The real masters don't explain their strategy while making a move. They let their actions reveal their thinking only when the time is right. In a world obsessed with announcing everything, the Stoics teach us the power of holding back. But wait, you might say, isn't it good to share my goals so I stay accountable and get support? And yes, there's value in that. But the Stoics knew that sharing too early can create more noise than clarity. The Stoic take on future plans is grounded in their core belief. Focus on what you can control and accept what you can't. The future is unpredictable. Talking about it doesn't make it any more certain, but acting on it quietly and consistently does. Epictetus put it best, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. So why did the Stoics advocate for keeping your plans to yourself? Let's explore 3 key reasons. First, protecting your focus. When you share your goals, even with good intentions, you open the door to distractions, opinions, skepticism, and pressure. Everyone has something to say, and soon your vision becomes clouded by voices that aren't yours. Second, avoiding premature satisfaction. Talking about your big goal can actually trick your brain into thinking you've already accomplished it. You get a hit of dopamine from announcing the plan, and suddenly your motivation fades. By keeping your plans private, you stay hungry, you stay grounded. Third, cultivating self-reliance. Relying too heavily on others for encouragement or validation can hold you back. But when you act in silence, when you chase your dreams without needing constant approval, you build a kind of inner muscle. You learn to trust yourself. Let's bring this into real life. Imagine you're building a side business, a passion project that you hope will one day become your full-time career. If you share it too early, you might face skepticism, envy, or discouragement. But if you keep it quiet, work on it in the shadows, by the time you unveil it, it's strong, tested, and yours. Or think of someone training for a marathon. Announcing it too soon might create unnecessary pressure. But if they train in silence at their own pace, free from performance anxiety, they'll not only be better prepared, but they'll enjoy the process more deeply. So here's your Stoic challenge. Before you tell the world your next big move, pause, ask yourself, will sharing this help me succeed, or will it serve as a distraction? Am I sharing from clarity or from insecurity? Remember, strategic silence isn't about secrecy. It's about wisdom. It's about building your dreams in peace so they can thrive without the noise. Now, as we continue on this journey of personal mastery, we arrive at a crucial principle for maintaining inner peace. Lesson 5. Don't talk about others. The Stoic path to a gossip-free zone. Let's be honest, gossip is everywhere. It's addictive, it's dramatic, and it's often masked as harmless conversation. But the Stoics knew better. They understood that real strength lies not in criticizing others, but in elevating yourself. In the Stoic view, gossip is wasted energy. It drains your focus, poisons your mindset, and sows unnecessary conflict. Why talk about others when you could be refining yourself? Marcus Aurelius said it perfectly. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one. Think about that. Every moment spent pointing fingers is a moment lost. A minute wasted on someone else's shortcomings is a minute not invested in your own growth. It's like watching reality TV instead of living your own story. The Stoics remind us that we're responsible for one person, ourselves, and that's a full-time job. When you turn inward, when you work on your own character, your own mindset, your own impact, you begin to radiate a quiet influence. Others notice. Not because you judged them, but because you didn't. Imagine the freedom that comes from living this way. No more mental clutter from petty conversations. No more worrying about who said what. Just clarity, purpose, and peace. Here's the Stoic challenge. The next time gossip starts to stir, choose to disengage. Shift the conversation or simply walk away. Focus your energy on something meaningful. It could be a project, a goal, a habit, a book, anything that moves your life forward. By choosing not to speak ill of others, you elevate your integrity, and over time you'll attract people who respect that. You'll become someone others trust, not because you kept secrets, but because you never tried to expose them. And perhaps most importantly, you'll like yourself more. You'll go to bed each night with a quiet mind, knowing you spent your energy becoming the person you're meant to be. Now that we've learned how to quiet the noise of judgment and keep our focus inward, we're ready for the next profound lesson in Stoic resilience. Let's continue with Lesson 6. Don't let others disturb your peace. True strength doesn't need a spotlight. It doesn't beg for applause. It doesn't ask for pity. It simply exists, rooted deep within you, resilient and steady, no matter what storms come your way. That's the kind of strength the Stoics revered. One that doesn't scream or complain, but quietly endures and keeps moving forward. By embracing the Stoic principle of guarding your weaknesses, you don't just protect yourself from harm. You build something much more powerful, quiet confidence, the kind of inner armor that allows you to meet challenges with grace, knowing that your strength isn't built on others' approval, but on your own endurance. And now, fellow Stoics and seekers, we move into one of the most soul-stirring ideas of all, your dreams. Lesson 8. The unspoken dream. nurturing your aspirations in the quiet of your heart. Welcome, dreamers and visionaries. This is where Stoicism meets imagination, not to crush it, but to help it flourish in the right way. You've probably been told, speak your dreams into existence, or, if you want it, declare it to the world. And yes, sharing your aspirations can be motivating, especially with the right people. But there's also wisdom in silence, in nurturing your dreams like fragile seedlings in the quiet soil of your heart. The Stoics understood something essential about the nature of dreams. They are beautiful, but also fragile. They are delicate, threads woven from our deepest hopes, and exposing them too early can unravel them before they've had time to grow strong. Seneca, one of Stoicism's most eloquent voices, said, "The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today." What he meant was this: we often get lost in the fantasy of the future and forget the power of the present. The Stoics weren't anti-dream, they were just radically grounded. They believed dreams must be rooted in action, not illusion. So why keep your dreams secret? Let's look at 3 compelling Stoic reasons. First, protect your vulnerability. Your dreams are deeply personal. They're tied to your identity, your heart, your soul. When you share them too freely, especially with people who don't understand or support you, you risk exposing yourself to doubt and ridicule. That criticism, no matter how gently offered, can bruise a dream that isn't fully formed. By keeping your dreams close, you create a sacred inner space, a greenhouse where your aspirations can grow without being trampled by outside judgment. Second, maintain intrinsic motivation. When we share our dreams, we often seek encouragement, but we might end up chasing validation. We begin to perform our dreams for applause instead of living them authentically. But when your motivation stays rooted in your own values and vision, not in others' reactions, it becomes unshakable. It becomes your fire, not theirs. Third, cultivate patience and resilience. Big dreams take time. And when you talk about them too much, you create unrealistic timelines. You might feel pressured to prove something before you're ready. But when you guard your dream, you give it the time it needs. You stay focused on the process, not the perception. Let's ground this in reality. Imagine you're dreaming of starting a non-profit that supports underserved communities. That's a noble dream, but if you announce it too early, you may face a flood of skepticism. That's risky. You're not ready. Where will the money come from? Well-meaning comments, but they can plant seeds of doubt. Instead, you work quietly. You build the plan, study the needs, gather the resources, and one day, when it's ready, you unveil something real, something strong. Your dream becomes a reality on your terms. Or maybe you're an artist. You've been pouring your heart into a collection of work that speaks to something deeper in you. But it's not ready, not yet. Sharing it now could invite shallow criticism or unhelpful comparisons. So you wait, you refine, you protect your vision, and when you finally share it, the world will see not just a product, but a piece of your soul. So here's your Stoic challenge. The next time you feel that rush of excitement, the desire to announce your dream to the world, pause. Ask yourself, will sharing this help me build it? Or will it expose it to unnecessary distractions? Am I doing this for clarity or attention? Remember, there is nothing shameful about guarding your dream. In fact, it may be the most respectful thing you can do for yourself. Because silence isn't emptiness. It's space. Space for your dream to grow strong roots. Space for your vision to take shape without interference. space for you to pursue it with focus, patience, and resilience. This is the Stoic way, and by walking this path, you'll find that your dreams don't fade in silence, they flourish. Now that we've learned how to protect our aspirations and nurture them from within, let's explore the next lesson in Stoic strength: how to respond to criticism without losing our inner calm. Let's continue with Lesson 9. Don't react to criticism, respond with calm. It's not about hiding, it's not about being antisocial. It's about trusting your own inner compass and giving your dreams the space to breathe, unrushed, unpressured, and unfolding at their own natural pace. Now we arrive at the final lesson in this Stoic journey, one that brings all the previous teachings full circle. It's time to step into the sanctuary of stillness. Lesson 9. The sanctuary of solitude, embracing the quiet strength within. Welcome back, solitude seekers. In a world that rarely pauses, solitude might feel like a lost art. We're told to network, to connect, to always be on. Social media pings, notifications flash. The pressure to engage is constant. Yet the Stoics remind us, solitude is not an absence, it is a presence. A sacred presence with oneself. They saw solitude not as loneliness, but as nourishment for the soul. The Stoic embrace of solitude. The great Stoic minds, Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, they understood something that modern life often forgets. True wisdom doesn't shout, it whispers, and you can only hear it in stillness. Solitude for them was the foundation of clarity. It was where they could examine their values, confront their fears, refine their thinking, and return to life with renewed purpose. Seneca captured this beautifully when he said, "Loneliness is the poverty of self, solitude is the richness of self." To the Stoic, solitude isn't isolation, it's intimacy with your thoughts, your heart, your deeper truth. It's the soil where self-reliance grows strong. Why keep your solitude sacred? Let's explore why the Stoics encouraged us to protect these quiet moments. First, protect your inner sanctuary. Your solitude is a precious gift. It's where your mind can breathe freely. If shared too freely or carelessly, the magic of it can be diluted. Some spaces are meant to be yours alone, untouched by the noise of others' opinions. Second, avoid misinterpretation. Not everyone understands solitude. Some see it as avoidance. Others view it as social awkwardness. But when you speak of your solitude too often, it becomes subject to others' labels. It loses its mystery and becomes just another topic of conversation. By keeping it sacred, you protect its purity and its power. Third, cultivate self-reliance. In solitude, we learn that we are enough. We discover that peace doesn't depend on company, that clarity doesn't need commentary, that inspiration can rise from silence. But if we constantly look to share or explain these moments, we risk turning inward reflection into outward performance. And in doing so, we weaken the very muscle we're trying to strengthen. Real-life examples, the power of silent solitude. Imagine you have a daily meditation ritual. It grounds you, it sharpens your mind and soothes your soul. But if you begin sharing every detail, others may question it, mock it, or try to join it, unintentionally disrupting the stillness you've built. Or perhaps you take long walks in the early morning, just you and nature. Birds chirping, ideas flowing, a quiet mind. If you begin inviting others or constantly talking about these walks, they become something else, social time instead of sacred time. Solitude is not performance, it is practice, a practice of presence. The Stoic challenge: embrace the richness of solitude. So here's your final Stoic challenge in this series. Carve out space in your life for solitude and fiercely protect it. It could be a quiet cup of tea in the morning, a silent walk at say, dusk, time spent journaling, praying, reflecting, or simply breathing. Whatever it is, do it alone, do it often. And don't feel the need to justify it to anyone. Let your solitude be your sanctuary. A space where you reconnect with your essence, where your thoughts have room to dance, and your spirit has space to speak. And remember, solitude isn't the absence of connection. It is the deepest form of it, connection with self. Final words. Carry the Stoic light. Thank you for walking with me on this journey through the 9 Stoic keys to outsmarting the chaos of modern life. You've learned to stay silent in strength, to protect your dreams and values, to resist gossip and avoid unnecessary noise, to act with purpose and not for praise, and finally, to nurture your inner world in sacred solitude. True wisdom doesn't come from loud voices or crowded rooms. It comes from still hearts, clear minds, and the courage to walk your path quietly but boldly. So keep practicing, keep growing, keep showing up for yourself. Because when you embrace these Stoic truths, not just as ideas, but as a way of life, you become more than strong. You become unshakable. Let this be your beginning, not your end. And as always, stay grounded, stay clear, and keep shining your Stoic light. Why keep your solitude sacred? Let's explore why the Stoics encouraged us to protect these quiet moments. First, protect your inner sanctuary. Your solitude is a precious gift. It's where your mind can breathe freely. If shared too freely or carelessly, the magic of it can be diluted. Some spaces are meant to be yours alone, untouched by the noise of others' opinions. Second, avoid misinterpretation. Not everyone understands solitude. Some see it as avoidance. Others view it as social awkwardness. But when you speak of your solitude too often, it becomes subject to others' labels. It loses its mystery and becomes just another topic of conversation. By keeping it sacred, you protect its purity and its power. Third, cultivate self-reliance. In solitude, we learn that we are enough. We discover that peace doesn't depend on company, that clarity doesn't need commentary, that inspiration can rise from silence. But if we constantly look to share or explain these moments, we risk turning inward reflection into outward performance, and in doing so, we weaken the very muscle we're trying to strengthen. Real-life examples. The power of silent solitude. Imagine you have a daily meditation ritual. It grounds you. It sharpens your mind and soothes your soul. But if you begin sharing every detail, others may question it, mock it, or try to join it, unintentionally disrupting the stillness you've built. Or perhaps you take long walks in the early morning, just you and nature, birds chirping, ideas flowing, a quiet mind. If you begin inviting others or constantly talking about these walks, they become something else, social time instead of sacred time. Solitude is not performance. It is practice, a practice of presence. The Stoic challenge: embrace the richness of solitude. So here's your final Stoic challenge in this series. Carve out space in your life for solitude and fiercely protect it. It could be a quiet cup of tea in the morning, a silent walk at dusk, time spent journaling, praying, reflecting, or simply breathing. Whatever it is, do it alone, do it often, and don't feel the need to justify it to anyone. Let your solitude be your sanctuary, a space where you reconnect with your essence, where your thoughts have room to dance and your spirit has space to speak. And remember, Solitude isn't the absence of connection. It is the deepest form of it, connection with self. Final words. Carry the Stoic light. Thank you for walking with me on this journey through the 9 Stoic Keys to outsmarting the chaos of modern life. You've learned to stay silent in strength, to protect your dreams and values, to resist gossip and avoid unnecessary noise, to act with purpose and not for praise, and finally, to nurture your inner world in sacred solitude. True wisdom doesn't come from loud voices or crowded rooms. It comes from still hearts, clear minds, and the courage to walk your path, quietly but boldly. So keep practicing, keep growing, keep showing up for yourself, because when you embrace these Stoic truths, not just as ideas but as a way of life, you become more than strong, you become unshakable. Let this be your beginning, not your end. And as always, stay grounded, stay clear, and keep shining your Stoic light.